Dear Mr. Alan Kurschner, I would like to ask if you are churched. If one might ask, what business have I in asking whether anyone is churched or not, I can confidently say that it would be a basic requirement from any believer, especially one who is the teacher of many, to belong to a local church and to fellowship regularly there, as much as an itinerant teacher is able to. A few weeks ago I sent an email to you through your website to which I haven't received an answer. I prefer to assume that you haven't seen it because you are an extremely busy and diligent person. So now I ask my question publicly, confident that it will get to you this way. The reason I ask whether you are in regular church fellowship is that I have noticed a good number of people I know who define themselves as pre-Rothers are out of church fellowship. I decided to comprise a list. At the same time, I racked my brains to try and think of a pre-tribber who is out of fellowship and could not. When asking a friend of mine, he confirmed my suspicion. He said the vibe in pre-Roth groups he visits is that they will never attend a church that teaches the pre-trib model, and some will not even attend a church that does not teach the pre-Roth model. I hope you understand the problem. If pre-trib becomes a fellowship issue for many pre-Rothers, to the point that they prefer to stay at home and attack pre-trib from their computer, this is a problem. And if so many have moved over to the pre-Roth model, as pre-Rothers claim, why do they not then assemble together in churches and teach pre-Roth? In other words, if pre-tribbers recognize the importance of church attendance and know how to maintain their churches, this should be considered a point in pre-trib's favor. Pre-tribbers also tend to be fundamentalists and their churches doctrinally stable. In Israel, for instance, the best churches are pre-trib. If, however, there's a prevalent problem of church attendance among pre-Rothers, this is something that should be looked into. Another question is, are any of the spearheads of the pre-Roth movement, one of them being you, aware of this problem? Have they done anything to try and stave it off? Or are they only fueling the rift? I should think that, if anything, the latter is true, because I found a link with a very strong recommendation from your website to a pre-Roth anti-pre-trib video made by one despicable man who also made a highly popular video encouraging people to leave the false church system. You know, with a pastor and a pulpit and all of that stuff. This man was, by the way, formerly part of another organization that claims to have been teaching a form of pre-Roth which they call intra-seal since the 70s, which is a lie in itself. Many of the followers of this organization are also out of fellowship, for similar reasons, like hatred toward pre-trib. This organization's representative in Israel, a friend of yours, has been out of fellowship for many years and cannot think of any church in Israel that would be suitable for him to fellowship in, despite my repeated exhortations to him over the years. It seems to be a common pattern, and it also seems to me that people with some sort of grudge against the church gravitate quite naturally to pre-Roth. As you probably know, being part of regular church fellowship is a New Testament command. Being outside of regular church fellowship is considered a punishment under New Testament standards. For instance, a believer who is out of fellowship is not fulfilling the Lord's ordinance of the breaking of bread. Sure, he can sip wine with his wife or with a friend, but I'm sure you understand this is not the manner in which the breaking of bread should be taken. It should be done in context of a functioning local church, however small, a church that has authority and regular members. Over the years, we have felt a kinship with other believers of different walks. Post-trib, mid-trib, pre-trib, and even those who don't believe in a rapture at all. We've had warm relationships with amillennials and post-millennials. We recognize that people of different persuasions love the Lord and are building the church together with us. We don't, however, feel this kinship coming from many pre-Rothers, who teach that pre-tribbers are liars, false teachers, and part of the devil's scheme. We and others we've been in touch with feel an animosity coming from pre-Rothers that we have seldom felt from other believers of other persuasions. We sense that many pre-Rothers despise not only pre-trib, they despise the church. This is not to say that all pre-Rothers are so, or that they're all out of fellowship. We know some pre-Rothers who are the regular part of a functioning local church for many years and labor to build the body locally and globally. If you should ask about the church in Nahariya, we have been meeting regularly since 2012. We used to have 2 elders, but one moved to another city, and now we have 1 elder, myself. We have close cooperation with the elder who left and who is founding another church. For years we were ranging between 30 and 40 regular local members, but especially since the latest war with Gaza, we are under 30. This seemingly low number is relatively good for Nahariya, and we hope it will grow substantially over time. Our consecutive Bible teaching in both Hebrew and English can be viewed on the Nahariya Messianic YouTube channel. Our address and meeting times are on our website. So now over to you. We'd like to know if you are churched, if your church has a name, an address, a website, what's the name of the pastor, its approximate size, and how long you have been part of it. Any of the above info will be helpful. We will be very happy to discover that you are a regular part of a functioning local church. In that case, we will lay this point to rest. In any case, we will publish your response or lack thereof. Thank you and Shalom.